Well, hello. Hi. Welcome to the New England International Film Award. This is a festival created by artists and for artists. My name is Aldrin. I'm the festival director, and I'm very happy to have you here, Danny. Danny, I'm going to start. I would love you to introduce yourself, tell us your name, and what did you do in this project that we're going to talk very shortly.
Hi, my name is Danny, and I am the cinematographer, and I'm also the cinematographer for this project Wings, which I shot a few years ago as my student like thesis film. I was really proud of this project, really honored that my film got selected at the film festival and had this interview.
We are going to see a little piece of more, and I come back right away.
Come to you upon this night.
Or I wanted to know how and why you got into this project.
So for more, it is kind of like really special project for me because I personally, as a cinematographer, I really like doing music videos. It is so big different than doing narratives, short films. It doesn't mean like I don't like doing narratives. It's just like they are so different. Like for music video, I can experiment more into like image visually, how to approach, try new technology, camera angles. So for this one, me and the director was working very closely when we decided to make a music video. It is a little weird in general because the project came up with an idea that me and the director want to make a music video, and then we go for the band, we go for the musics. So it is something that's completely opposite about how usually people do music videos. So in that way, we listen a lot of sounds from a lot of band. When we are listening to this sound, this music, we kind of like have a vision about how this music video should look like, what tone we're gonna go for it. That's why we choose this one. Also, yeah, and the band there really cooperate. We if we want something, can we have some locations they have already, and they really love to like work with us.
One of the purpose of a New England International Film Award is educational. We would like to educate younger filmmakers on how to make projects, and it's always interested to me the cinematography part, because to me it's one of the most important, but cinematography is what we see. And I would like you to tell us how was this the process of making this video visually.
Yeah, of course, for like a young cinematographer, you will be limited by your equipment. Of course, like 100%. You will basically use whatever you can get. For myself, I am very luckily I have a small DSLR camera and a gimbal, and that's pretty much covered most of the time when you want to film something. And of course, I know this is also some extra for young filmmakers that own a DSLR camera by themselves. To be honest, I was shot on iPhone for a like indie feature film once. You cannot imagine how good it looks when you are actually positioning the iPhone to find a good framing instead of you just like usually when people using iPhone they just pull it out and just grab whatever is in front of them. Of course it's not gonna look good, but if you are really designing the shots and the camera movement, iPhone can turn out really good cameras for you. Also, one of the biggest things for cinematography is also lighting, and we all know lightings are really expensive and really like require a lot of people to move around and to time consuming as well. For myself, I got some 2K tungsten light from eBay around $90. I mean, people don't use tungsten that much. They love LED lights, but it's a 2K tungsten and it's only $90. You can just get one and it will really helps you with whatever lighting you want to do.
What was the program you guys use?
I'm not really a good editor, but I have a friend that we work together all the times. He is also a cinematographer, like so we work together. Whether if I'm cinematographer, he will be my AC or he will be my gaffer, or he's a cinematographer. I will help him around. So he will handle all of my like personal projects or passion projects. That he will edit it for me. Also, he is really good at like post production. He know like DaVinci, he know Premiere, he know Avid, your Pro Tools, he knows everything. But when we are working on this music video specifically, I think he was using Premiere Pro for the editing.
One of the biggest challenges during any kind of visual art, it's challenges. What can you tell us? What was the biggest challenge during this process of doing this more music video?
For music videos specifically, there are a lot of music videos coming out every year. Of course, you want to make something different. You don't really want to do a music video that is already been made. You just like copy the style. That's, of course, no one wants to do that. The hardest part is you find a theme that fits the sound, fit the music, and also like that fits your like visual appearance. For myself, I can introduce a little bit about myself. I was studying like contemporary art for a few years as my background. So I did learn a lot of art history and a lot of classic paintings to the contemporary art. I often use those as my inspiration according to the theme of the videos and also the color palettes I'm using and also the lighting, how I'm gonna lit the environment.
So it was a combination of all your knowledge in art, trying to, what is the style? It's like rock and roll. I don't know what
Yes, it is.
it is. I mean, it caught my attention because I haven't seen a rock and roll video in a long time. Rock and roll is like in this dream or sleeping. I love rock and roll. I'm from the 80s rock bands with long hair and all this, and I thought, and it remind me, all these big bands, and that's why it was like, wow, finally rock and roll is doing something. And if you can tell us a pleasure or something that pleasure that you encounter during the process, what is the most pleasure that you got doing this project?
Yeah, and I'm really happy that you mentioned that it's actually a music video about rock and roll band. And yeah, it is same for me that I am a big fan of the rock and roll sound. Like I said, we actually choose the music first before we kind of like doing anything else. Like for myself and for the director, we're like also big fan of like old rock and roll musics. And we did this music video in Atlanta, Georgia, which maybe a lot of people know this city because they are very famous about like rap music. So there are a lot of like rappers, and they are really kind of like lead the trend of America like music in like this genre. But for us, since we are kind of like rock and roll fan, we're gonna look into it, see is there any band that we fit each other. And you can tell those band members, they are like really experienced, and they are in general like old players, but they are really still working, they are still doing what they love, and they're not gonna change because of the world changing. So for us, actually it is really lucky that we find this band. And honestly, it is the hardest part, but also we did find them. So I guess we are also lucky as well.
Yeah, I bet it's very very nice to find something that you really like, so you can at least enjoy what you're doing because it's a very hard job. I got that. Danny, talking about your career, what will be your dream work? What would be that you would love to do in the future?
Yeah, so I moved to LA a few years ago. Ever since I moved here, I'm starting doing freelance cinematography jobs, and I done a few indie feature films that I was really enjoyed because I had a different idea about indie film in general before I went to Los Angeles and after. At first, I was graduated from a film school. I was thinking, okay, working in like big studio project is what we want when we were in the film school, and after we graduated we think we should do it because this is how like Hollywood, uh, the highest standard is when we all should work harder for it. But after I'd done a few indie feature films, I felt like that actually indie feature film, it is the place where can kind of like set your imagination free. You can do whatever you want as long as it does tell the story and also it doesn't hurt anyone. Because for like studio projects, big, I'm talking about like big studio projects, you have to make it for massive audiences. Basically, you need to serve the market, you need to serve the audience and the producer. But in that way, you kind of like limit yourself. You don't want to do something too odd. You don't want to do something that is too risky. And it is, of course, it is not a wrong thing for doing that. But for me personally, I think I'm more like into, okay, let's try something out. Even if it doesn't work and it takes you a whole day to set up, that is very interesting jobs that I'd like to take.
When you're working with these people and you're trying to be creative, my question is, do they let you go all the way or you have to follow some rules?
Yeah, I think they're definitely not, I can do whatever I want. It always, like, after all, you're a cinematographer, you're not actually a director of the film. So for my part of creativity is I can suggest to the director saying, hey, I just found out this really interesting lens. It can have some really weird distortion of the image. Do you want to try it in this scene? I think this scene fitted perfectly. And the director will think, okay, maybe it worked, maybe it doesn't. So he will make this final decision. And like for the director is he or she will comes out of the point that does it serve the story well. So of course, for like bigger projects, you can do that. But I think it is maybe my personal problem. I will like even nobody tell me, but I will think about it. If I try something weird, will the audience accept it? So that's maybe like my problem, that I will kind of limit myself for making something new for the bigger projects.
But you do that preparation way before going into the set, right? You talk
Yes,
to the director, I want to try this, I want to try that before you go into the real set.
yes. For independent projects, it is really. We probably have a month or two for the pre-production. I won't be there like every day with the director, but we talk a lot because for the independent projects we have limited money and limited people. Like sometimes people will do multiple jobs and it does requires really constant like communications. So and also when I was doing research of the for the projects, we just like change weird ideas and maybe even like sometimes you can't really tell it's a joke or it is something you or the director actually want to do it. So that is really interesting.
Yeah, no, I know. Danny, tell us what is your future plans? What do you have in coming in the near future?
I am working in a production company right now. I'm in the line between doing cinematographer jobs and also I'm doing some of the producer's jobs because a little bit weird as a cinematographer. I think I am pretty good at doing producers jobs. So I'm like taking some projects as a producer as well. I will see if I will keep. I think I can do both because I don't need to be limit myself. That is one thing, and also I more enjoy working in a smaller like independent films. When you are working in the independent films and you are a cinematographer and have some ability of the producer, that is like a big plus for yourself.
No, I think when you get involved into this area of creativity, especially in the cinematographer, it gets to know so much thing of what's going on that you're able to do many other things that happens. Yeah, that's excellent. Where can we find you on the social media?
I'm on Instagram. You can search me as GRAY underscore ALL. And you can see a Deadpool headshot.
That's awesome.
Also, I worked to indie feature films as a cinematographer last year and also like earlier this year. And I think it will coming out next year.
What's the name of those projects so we can keep an eye on it?
First one is Heaven's Mother, and the second one, I'm not sure if I can talk about it yet.
Okay, we know
Yeah.
that. We know that we cannot, but that's a great that's amazing. And you live in Los Angeles right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the city for it. That's amazing. Danima, I didn't know. I didn't go in the beginning. Where are you from? Are you from Los Angeles?
No. Originally, I'm from China. So I was born in China, and I went to Australia for, like I said, undergrad study as contemporary art major. And then around 4 years or 5 years ago, I went to America to study film.
Oh,
And now,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, so you're originally from China. Well, that's amazing. And you
Yes.
went to Australia. So you paint and all that.
Yes, when I was in Australia, I tried painting, but I think I was mainly focusing on experimental films. I mean, it sounds similar to what I'm doing right now, but it is a completely different journey for myself.
If you can tell me director that you compare to, which one will be?
Oh, director. Those few years, I was, when I saw some films in cinema and I was like, that is amazing. It's always came out of the same director. So I guess he is my favorite director right now. So he is actually the director of the La La Land is Damien Chazelle
Oh,
because it is great masterpiece. But for
oh.
myself, it was last year. I think Babylon is my favorite film of last
Oh.
year, and I think that was truly amazing.
When I can see in this, I mean, rock and roll and all these
Yeah,
color. And,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah. Now I can relate it a little bit to it. Danima, anything else you want to tell us?
I talked a lot already. I didn't know that I can be so talkative.
Oh, well, you talk a lot, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well, I will want to thank you so much to take this time. We are extremely very happy to have your video clip more on our festival. We wish you the best, and we are very thank you for you being part of this festival. We love people like you who love art and who do things because they have passion on it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.